I think we all need this one when we ask to feel luminous and loved at the end. We all need a little more love right now, and we need to be shining the light into the world. I'm sure all of us are still reeling from what happened yesterday. And as we look into Yesod again today, this idea of a foundation and of bonding, it is through the lens of Netzach. Netzach Shebe Yesod. That Netzach is the thing that gets us to do what we need to do in our lives, the thing that pushes us forward. It's that energy that pushes out into the world and forces us to do what we need to do. The things that it's like our. I think of it almost like the id and the ego all tied together. It's like a spontaneous thing that leads you to act, but then again, it's also kind of the power inside of us that allows us to move forward. So that's very needed when we bond with something. Netzach is thought of also as something that's enduring, right? Something that lasts. And if we take our Netzach into what we bond with, it's like an enduring bonding. And that comes from constantly nurturing that relationship. You know, tomorrow we'll talk about Hod Shabi Yesod, which is a little bit different. This one is you've got to nurture it, you've got to fight for it, you've got to keep going with it. And, you know, one might say that the foundation of life is so important that we need to be resilient when things like what happened yesterday happen. And we need to continue to bond with the idea that nobody should be able to buy the kind of weapons that 18-year-old kid bought. And we need to have an enduring bond with stopping the violence. But it also carries into our regular lives, our everyday lives, that when we bond with people, we have to keep that going. The bonding doesn't just happen. It only happens because there's an endurance to that bond. And that a tight bond only comes when you work towards it. I was thinking of any love relationship or marriage or having a significant partner that you need to continually work on the bond that is between two people. You can't just assume, oh, we're bonded and that's going to continue. You have to work on it. It's something you have to think about daily. And part of our mindfulness is to be mindful of the relationships we're in and the bonding that we have in our lives. And I think that bonding and foundation kind of go together in that the people we bond with and the things we bond with in our life, that is the foundation of who we are. The people we spend our time with, the activities we spend our time doing. That is the foundation of our existence. And in order for that to endure, it takes vigilance. If we want to do something about gun control, it's going to take vigilance. If we want to keep our friendships alive, it's going to take vigilance, that netzach, that enduring understanding of what it is. Relationships, work, even play. If we don't continually put our energy towards it, then it wanes. So if we want to have the kinds of bonds that mean something, it takes the work. I have a friend of mine I was in rabbinical school with, and we get in contact with each other here and there, but we always say the same thing to each other. We'll leave a message on our phones, and at the end we'll say, "Well, just kind of trying to keep the friendship alive." And that's our way of saying, this is our netzach, Shebe Yesod, right? I'm calling, checking in, finding out if everything's okay, because that bond needs to remain strong, and it only remains strong when we are acting upon it and looking for it and doing things to keep it. And that goes for everything that we do. I was reading something else about Netzach Shebe Yesod I thought I could share with you. And that was this. This is actually a teaching that I learned from my dad. My father always has said, and I've never forgotten it. He says, it comes to when you have decisions to make in your life. You make a decision and you stick to it. If in the end that decision turns out not to be the right one, then you make another decision and you stick to that. And when I was reading in one of the Omer Counter apps that I look through before these meditations, it was this wonderful concept of that life is constantly making enduring decisions, and that we are constantly changing the bonds that we have. So we go along a road and we have to decide to maybe make a turn, and then we head down this other road and we go wholeheartedly down that road, that netzach, wholeheartedly down that road to establish the foundation of our lives. And if that road turns that we have to make another decision, then we switch that over. And Netzach Shebiyasod is that constant journey down all the different roads that we go down based upon the decisions that we make, because we need to head in a certain direction. And so Netzach Shebehod in that way is sticking to the direction that you've started, as opposed to, I'm going to start, I'm done. It's sticking in that direction. And when you have to swerve and go off into a different direction, you go wholeheartedly into that direction. And each time you make a turn or a twist or change, you put 100% into it. That's Netzach Shebiyasod. So, I think we could all use a little bit of peace and stillness, a little bit of quiet, a little bit of gratitude for our lives and our breath, and that we're here to live another day. Because we're just reminded way too often that life is fleeting and can be taken from us today, tomorrow. So we sink into our gratitude for being alive, just as our hearts reach out to those that have been pained and hurt. So let's get comfortable. Let's get into a position where we can sit quietly and we can concentrate on our breath. we enter into our last 3 minutes or so together, we ask for 2 feelings from the universe. May I feel luminous, and may I feel loved. So with each breath, we offer one or both of these feelings. May I feel luminous. May I be filled with light, glowing, shining, filled with the light of knowledge, with the light of truth. May I feel luminous, bright, sharp, shining, piercing, filled with awe. May I feel luminous. And may I feel loved. May I feel the love that others give me. Sometimes it's hard to pinpoint whether we really are loved or not. You are. I am. May I feel loved. May I feel luminous. May I feel loved. May I feel luminous. May I feel luminous and loved. May I feel luminous. May I feel loved. May I feel luminous. May I feel loved. If you'd like to offer this to someone else, to someone that you care about, know well, hardly know, you can picture them in your mind's eye in front of you and offer these words to them. May you feel luminous. May you feel loved. May you feel luminous and loved. May you feel luminous. May you feel loved. May you feel luminous and loved. May you feel luminous. May you feel loved. Just stay there for a couple more breaths. And I invite us to bring it back to ourselves. May I feel luminous. May I feel loved. May I feel luminous. And may I feel loved. May I feel luminous. May I feel loved. And let's just breathe as we finish. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope that on this day you were able to find some peace and stillness. May you feel luminous, and may you feel loved, and keep that netzach, shebe yesod, the endurance of our foundation. I hope you have a